According to news reports, there's a measure of calm in Rakhine, Burma's westernmost state. Renewed clashes between Rakhine's Buddhists and Muslims that lasted into this week left 84 dead and more than 125 injured. It looks like the aftermath of a wildfire, but this Muslim settlement was torched by Buddhists. At least 2,900 dwellings were burned to the ground in the riots. The UN estimates more than 28,000 people, both Muslim and Buddhist, are displaced. This Buddhist man suffered burns when Muslims set his house alight. He said he tried to protect his home and didn't have time to escape the flames. The government has beefed up security, sending armed police, border guards, and 51 army battalions to the state. The UN's refugee agency says displaced people are swamping camps around the provincial capital, Sittwe.
The camps in and around Sittwe are already hosting most of the 75,000 people who remain displaced from the wave of violence that broke out in June this year. With the new influx, these already overcrowded camps are being stretched beyond capacity in terms of space, shelter, and basic supplies. Food prices in the area have doubled, and there are not enough doctors to treat the sick and wounded.
This is the second big round of violence to hit Rakhine this year. In June, tens of thousands of Muslims were driven out of their homes. Many fled to neighboring Bangladesh. The rioting was sparked by an assault on a Buddhist woman, allegedly by 3 Muslims. The resentment runs deep. The Muslims, known as Rohingya, are seen as illegal migrants competing for land and jobs with the Buddhists. Now, to help us get a fix on this latest round, we've got Maung Zarni with us on Skype. Dr. Zarni is a scholar and Burmese activist. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First, can you tell us a little bit about the background to the tension between the two communities? Is it largely economic?
Well, both economic and ethnic and religious. Not all Rakhines are horrible towards the Rohingya Muslims, but there were Rakhines that had parents or still have parents who were born in Bangladeshi side before Bangladesh became like Bangladesh. They moved back to Burma, and then they came with a rather potent strain of distaste for Muslims and other ethnic groups in Bangladesh. And then when they see the Rohingya Muslims on their ancestral soil, they basically take it out on them.
Now, recently, Buddhist monks in Burma have led protests against the Muslims in Rakhine. Why?
Well, Buddhist monks have always been contrary to the outside opinions, rather conservative, ethnically and culturally, and they subscribe to the pre-modern notion of ethnicity and race based on purity of blood. That type of inherent racism in our society is from time to time mobilized, manipulated by the Burmese military regime, as it suits them. There is a direct role of the Burmese military state in manipulating the Burmese racism, put it that way.
And Dr. Zarni, Aung San Suu Kyi has been relatively quiet about the violence. What do you make of her silence?
I think like 3 reasons. One is that she is surrounded by Rakhine racists as well as Burmese racists. And secondly, she is actually, she needs the Burmese military's support. She cannot assume any important office without the army's backing. And lastly, the army itself has purged any type of leadership structure within the armed forces of both Muslims and Christian officers.
All right, thank you, Dr. Zarni. Always nice to have you on the program and hear your insights. Dr. Maung Zarni is a Burmese activist and visiting fellow at the London School of Economics.
Now on U.S. airwaves, a global channel of uncompromising stories. World news, documentaries, entertainment, and culture. Link TV, connecting you to the world. For more information, visit linktv.org.